breeder at that time, so they ended up purchasing from an irresponsible breeder. The breeder inbred and starved Oscar to keep him small. Unfortunately, Oscar only lived 2 years. Autumn and Nick were heartbroken and learned a huge life lesson. Never again would they choose a pet without doing a lot of research. So now, for the rest of the story, I'll give a warm Rotary welcome to Autumn.
Thank you very much. It's very exciting to be able to talk about something that I'm very passionate about. A little more about me. My husband and I, we live in Minerva, Ohio. We have 2 boys who are here with me today. We have a small homestead where we raise all different kinds of animals, but we raise our own meat too. And that's really a whole different story because I'm very passionate about that as well. The food industry today is broken. The way they treat animals is horrible. So we decided to take that into our own hands and do it for ourselves. Now, that's not what we're here to talk about today. We're here to talk about the other animals that we have on our farm, which are mini pigs. Rose is here with me today, and she's very friendly, so if you want to pet her or scratch her, I brought treats, you can give her treats. She's super friendly. Now, as was mentioned, I am a pig lover from way back. You know, when most girls were decorating their room in New Kids on the Block, I was decorating my room in pigs. Loved pigs. And I always said I would never marry a man unless he let me get a pig. Well, I got kind of fortunate because my husband is not an animal lover. But on our first anniversary, I found that little pig in a pet store and I just couldn't resist him. He was so tiny, and I tell you, he was so small, he fit across the palm of my hand, and I just couldn't walk away. So I called my husband, and we had about $107 in our checking account, and he was $100. So I said, I found this little pig, and I just don't think that I can leave him here. And he said, go ahead. So I did. I took him home, and he was our baby for 2.5 years. Everyone in our town, we live in a small town, and everyone in our town knew us as the girl who has the pig. And when we would walk him down the street, people would come out of their houses to pet him, and he was super friendly and just my baby. We were devastated when he died. Of course, we didn't know why at the time. Later, we found out the horrific treatment that pig breeders use to keep pigs small, because everybody has like an obsession with a tiny pig, the teacup pig. That's what they want, something that stays small. And unfortunately, that just isn't reality. So if you get a pig to stay small, you have to starve them, which is horrible. So that, it doesn't go well for the pig. So he passed away, and it took us quite a while to get another one. Eventually, you know, we rescued some, we bought some from breeders, all that stuff. But now, 18 years later, I have a small pet pig breeding program. And because I've had pigs for so long, I actually do consultations with people all over the world that have a pet pig. So we do it on Zoom, and they tell me the issues they're having, and I tell them how to fix them. And it's great. I love it. It's my favorite thing. I do love to breed pigs, but my favorite part is really educating, because people just don't understand what having a pet pig is like. Now, one of the most common questions that I get is, how on earth did you ever get started breeding pigs? Because it's not something that most little girls dream of. So it's actually a very easy story. You know, we've had many pigs over the years. Well, about 6 years ago, we were building our own home, and my husband, we were almost done, and he came to me and said, you know what, Autumn, this is really expensive, and so you're probably gonna have to get a job to help so that we can finish the rest of the house. Well, I didn't want to do that. I had 2 small children at the time. I homeschooled, and I really didn't like the idea of someone else raising my children. I wanted to do it. So I was talking to my father-in-law and just whining to him that I didn't know what I was gonna do. And he said, well, you should maybe you could find a job that you can work from home. And I said, I can't make jewelry. I am not a patient person. I don't know how to do that. I don't wanna make jewelry. And he said, you know, you really love pigs. You should breed pigs. And I said, I don't know anything about breeding pigs. He said, Autumn, you learn. I said, okay. Okay, I will learn. So I found a breeder in California to mentor me. She sold me my first 2 sows, which are female pigs, and then my first boar. Unfortunately, as soon as she got my money, she blocked me and would not respond to any of my messages or phone calls. Yet again, another breeder that lied to make a sale, and I knew that when I became a breeder, I did not want to be like that. So I am completely different. Even breeders that we got like a dog from or other animals, they always lied, always, and they always set us up for failure. Why can't they just be honest so that we know what we're dealing with? I still want the animal, but this way I'm prepared and I'm set up for success. So I knew I wanted to be different, and I am. I'm very different. How am I different? First of all, I'm different because I care about my pigs. Most pig breeders have like 20 or 30 sows that they breed. I have 2. They have 40 or 50 litters a year. I have 4. I care about my animals. I do not overbreed them. They all have a name. They all have a personality. I know their background. I can tell you stories about them. They are our family. I love them. The second way I'm different is that before a family can get a pig from me, I thoroughly educate them. Meaning, you have to fill out a questionnaire. You have to fill out an application. You have to go through a course that I created called Preparing for a New Piglet course, because pigs are not like dogs, and that's what everybody wants to compare them to. If you're going to be successful with any animal, you need to understand what kind of animal that is. So I thoroughly educate them. I talk to them for hours on the phone to make sure that they understand if they can't come visit at our farm. Number 3, I support each family. So if someone buys a piglet from me, they never have to wonder if they have a question who to ask, because they're given my personal cell phone number. They can call me or message me anytime. I always respond. I will always help them through that. It's something that I enjoy doing. I love doing that. So it makes our families very successful. Most breeders have a success rate. They have to rehome their pigs within the first year. So they find it a home, and then they have to rehome it within the first year. 90% of pigs are rehomed in the first year. In my business, 14% are rehomed again in the first year. And it's usually because of like an emergency, something that they couldn't foretell. Excuse me. The fourth way that I'm different is I am definitely quality over quantity. I have no desire to have 1,000 piglets a year. I have 1 litter at a time so that we can make them as great as rows, because you might not know this, but when pigs are born, they're like feral wild animals. They're afraid of everything. And that makes perfect sense when you think about it, because pigs are prey animals. So in the wild, if a mother pig has piglets, I always say that piglets are born fully baked. Puppies, when they're born, they can't do anything. They're like a blob, Piglets, when they're born, their eyes are open, their ears are open, they have teeth, they can run. They have to be able to follow their mother in any situation, so they are fully baked when they're born. So we put a lot of time into each litter. So the second most common question I get is, what is it really like to have a pet pig? And it's 3 main things that I try to make sure that people understand. Number 1, pigs are herd animals. And that means 2 things. Number 1, they're very social. So for somebody who wants a cute pig but just wants to put it outside and just look at it and feed it once a day, I'm not opposed to a pig being outside, but pigs need interaction. So they have to have a friend. If you're gonna put them outside, then you have to get 2, or things like a goat or like even a cat makes a great companion for a pig. Now, if you're gonna have them in the house, then you don't need 2, you can just have 1. But once you get 1, it's like a potato chip, you can't stop there. Most people with a pig have more than 1. So they're very social. So as long as you're interacting with them daily, then 1 is fine. The other point under herd animals is that pigs have a hierarchy. So you've heard the term pecking order with chickens. So there is a pecking order with pigs, and it's kind of amazing. There's a top hog in any herd, But not only that, there's a number 2, a number 3, a number 4, a number 5, all the way down the line. Every pig has a number. Every pig knows where they fit in. Every pig knows who's above them, who's below them. They all know where they fit in. And when you bring a pig in the house, you know, that instinct tells them to move up. They want to be top hog. That's survival of the fittest. But if you have a pig at the top, pigs don't make good leaders. Let me take that back. Pigs actually make excellent leaders in the wild. So if you have a pig in a top hog position, they're in charge of finding food, making sure the herd is safe, making sure there's bedding. What I meant to say was, pigs are not kind leaders. So pigs are, a pig at the top of a herd, no pig in that herd crosses him. He's walking your direction and you get out of the way as soon as possible, because pigs are brutal. They will fight to the death. They are not delicate. And then as people, we want to bring them in the house and we want to treat them like with kid gloves and just, oh my gosh, you're so cute, I don't want to hurt you. That is not the language that they understand. They push each other around. They are not kind leaders. So what I try to do is I try to teach all of my clients to keep their pig at the bottom of the herd. Think about it, pig at the bottom, only one way to go is up. It's a very relaxed position because everyone's in charge of me, and so they don't have anything to do. They just hang out, and they're not gonna bite someone who is above them in the hierarchy. They're not gonna be bossy to someone who's above them in the hierarchy. They're gonna be kind, and they're just gonna be docile. So that's what we want if we have a pig in the house. We want it to be kind and docile. Now, the second major point about pigs is that pigs are extremely intelligent. Like I mentioned, everybody wants to compare them to a dog. They're nothing like a dog. They're way smarter than a dog. They're like 4 times smarter than a dog. They're nothing like a cat. They're more like a 3-year-old toddler. Anything a 3-year-old toddler can do, a pig can do. So if your 3-year-old toddler can get a snack, your pig can get a snack out of the refrigerator and eat all the produce in the bottom drawers. They can get in your cabinets. They can climb stairs. They can play video games and succeed. Like, they're smart. They're super smart. So it's important to know that, because when you bring a pig in your house, you have to pig-proof it. You have to, just like you baby-proof, you have to pig-proof, because pigs are not smart enough to say, oh, hey, that's rat poison, I shouldn't eat that. They're gonna say, that smells sweet, so I'm gonna eat the whole box. And many pigs do. So it's important to keep them supervised. In our house, we have one pig who lives in the house with us. Her name is Topanga, and when we can't be watching her, she has a safe place. So she has a crate on the porch, she has an area outside, she has a crate in the basement on our heated floor that she loves. So there's always a place where she is if we can't have our eyes on her all the time. The third point about pigs that no one knows is that, has anybody ever heard of a teacup pig? Have you heard of a teacup pig? JP's heard of a teacup pig. That's because people call me every day wanting a teacup pig. And here's the deal about a teacup pig. Remember my first pig, Oscar? He was technically a teacup pig because when he's born, he fits in a teacup. That's all that means. It doesn't mean that they stay that size. And when people hear the term mini pig, they associate that with like a mini poodle or a mini schnauzer or a mini dachshund, something that stays really, really small. But pigs are meant to grow. And the only way to get them not to grow is, as was mentioned, inbreeding them, breeding them extremely young, and starving them to keep them small. So I try to spread the word so that people don't support these breeders who are claiming to have teacup pigs. There are no teacup pigs, and so I really try to educate people. This is what I love to do. So I have a podcast called the Pet Pig Podcast, where I try to get the word out there. I have a YouTube channel, my Instagram and Facebook, and then I also have like paid things. So I create courses for people. If you have a pig that you can't potty train, something, it's not working. So I have a course that will teach you how to do that and be successful. I also have an educational membership group where people join and they pay a monthly fee. And in that group, if you have any questions about pigs, I've answered it. It's there. And if it's not, then you tell me and I'll make a video about it. So, and then those people too, they have full access to me anytime they have a question. I'm there to answer it. So, I don't know how much time is left, but that's pretty much all that I brought to say. So if anybody has any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them. Yes?
How big do they grow?
Oh, great question. I missed over that. So a mini pig, like I mentioned, is not, it doesn't stay tiny, but actually, a whole nother thing. So mini dogs, so what are they called? Just like mini, yeah, toy, that's it. So toy poodles or whatever, they stay very small. And that's a breed, right? That's a dog breed. If you go to a breeder and you buy a toy poodle, you know what you're gonna get. Pigs are different. That term mini is technically, it's not a breed, it's a classification. And what that means is it's any pig under 300 pounds. Okay, so if you go to a mini pig breeder and they say, yeah, this pig stays 15 pounds, okay, first of all, they're lying to you. And second of all, say, I want to see the parents and I want to know how old they are, because pigs take 5 years to grow to maturity. So very easy to slip those babies on in there and say that they're going to stay tiny. Now, there are ethical mini pig breeders out there like me, who my pigs get to be about 75 pounds, 100 pounds, which sounds really big, but a 75-pound golden retriever and a 75-pound pig look totally different. Pigs are built stocky, and they look more like an English bulldog. So lots of people have English bulldogs in their house, and so that's what you can expect, like 75, 100 pounds. Now it's different if you get a potbelly pig. They are bigger. They get closer to 200 pounds, but mini pigs are smaller. Yes?
How long do they live on average?
Great question. 15 to 18 years. So if you get a pig, it's a lifelong commitment. It's big, and a lot of kids come to me and they're 11 years old and they want a piglet. I'm like, listen, in the next 10 years, your life is gonna change so much. Can you take this pig with you? And if not, are your parents willing to keep it? Because it is a huge commitment. Yes?
So, with that commitment and knowing that some people go on vacation with that, do you turn around and board these pigs as well?
Actually, I do, yes. Because there's not very many people in our area who do board, like they board dogs, and there's a place by us that does boarding cats, but nobody does pigs, so then I again stepped up and filled that position. And most of them are my piglets that I've sold, which is great because pigs are smart and they have a really good memory and they follow their nose. They do not have good eyesight, they do not have good hearing, but their nose is everything. They come back to our house and they remember us. So they're not afraid or anything, they settle right in. Yes?
Like a dog, and he's got to go outside and he'll scratch the door.
So pigs, a lot of time what people do is they train them to ring a bell. So they hang a bell from the doorknob and then the pig just goes over and rattles the bell and the people just go and let them
So
outside.
when you let them out, they'll come right back, or do you have to look for them?
Pigs, generally because they don't have good eyesight, they're not wanderers. Now, if they know there's food somewhere, like maybe your neighbor has a garden and they've been in it before, every chance they get, they will go to that garden. So, so it's better to have a fenced-in yard, yes.
Are they kind of like predators?
They're actually prey. They're prey. Yes, so a lot of people want to get a pig and a dog together, but pigs and dogs are natural predators. Dogs are predators, pigs are prey. They're natural enemies, that's what I meant to say. And so, like,